What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? With tensions on the rise as to affordability, as to groceries being more cost effective and fuel, utility bills, people being able to get out there and essentially live their lives in order to be able to provide for their families. A new boycott has hit the airwaves for a couple of weeks. We've heard people talking about it, and it's one that I wanted to focus here today on the channel about in terms of Loblaws. Now, if you're aware of Loblaws, I know a lot of people know Galen Weston, and of course, Shoppers Drug Mart, Real Canadian Superstore, No Frills. The list goes on as to the stores that they own under their chain of grocery stores as well in the East, actual Loblaws stores. Well, a boycott has come out with the recent increase in carbon taxing to encourage people that for a month, they should boycott Loblaws and also in the middle of the month steal from Loblaws. I'm not really on board with the whole theft thing. I don't think people should be stealing from any retail outlet, let alone risking their own, I guess you could say, freedoms by stealing from a company or corporation. But of course, this is starting to catch on in the mainstream media. It's something I wanted to talk about today because when we talk about affordability of food, affordability of your life, boy, I have questions about that, or not questions, but tips on how to save that are coming. But I also wanted to talk about the incident in particular that's going on and why this is such a big deal. Now, if we head over to YouTube, we can see here that there's a petition going on with Loblaws through CTV News. And if you follow the government paid shills of the media, or as I like to call them, prostitutes, you'll notice that they're out here specifically talking about Loblaws. They'll mention Walmart in the video. They mention Metro Inc. very briefly. Loblaws is the focus, and I'm going to get to that after and why this is a big problem.
Frustrated shoppers fed up with rising food prices kicked off what they say will be a month-long boycott of a grocery store giant on the same day the chain reported an increase in profits. CTV's Heather Wright on the reaction.
Business is good at Canada's largest grocer, which may be bad for customer relations, as Loblaws grapples with the start of a month-long boycott.
Looking for change?
Roe and Caroline Schwim are, or were, Loblaws customers. But when they saw a group online calling for a boycott, they decided to join.
I think the price fixing and the canoodling that happens between shops here is really disgusting.
Over the last several years, all grocers, including Sobeys, Metro and Walmart, have faced intense scrutiny over food inflation. But much of the anger has been directed at Loblaws, including this latest boycott.
Which is kind of silly, because it's not Loblaws' fault that prices are going up.
Last quarter, Loblaw, which owns No Frills, Real Canadian Superstore and Shoppers Drug Mart, saw its profit increase nearly 10%, with net earnings of $459 million. The company says it is doing all it can to keep prices low, even walking back unpopular decisions like getting rid of the 50% off discounts on food that is near expiry.
I think there is some indication that they are listening to the criticism, but at the same time, then you have these earning reports that come out that make it sound a little bit like they're saying one thing on one hand and doing another.
That is an important part of this video that I want to stress here as we essentially talk on this channel about surviving Canada, getting your lives back, getting to a position where you can afford to live better. Now, the one thing that one customer mentions in this video that's very true is that I'm not sure how effective this boycott is going to be. The problem with food is that it's a basic necessity. Everybody needs to feed their families. Everybody has to put food on the table. So whether you boycott Loblaws or not, you have to go to another store and get food from somebody else. So somebody else's profits are going to be going up as a result. And I can tell you right now, these other retailers love when this happens. Now, there are things I'm going to be showing on this channel in terms of how I, with a family of 3 children, save money when I go for groceries, how I run on a very, what I'll call conservative budget in terms of how we pay our bills and get by without spending too much, or at least going overhead of what is improbable when it comes to groceries. But the one question I have to ask in terms of politics with this is Jagmeet Singh's connection to his brother, who was a lobbyist for Metro Inc. Now, of course, they mentioned Metro very briefly in this video, but you'll see here that other mainstream outlets like Global News are talking about the boycott as well, and talking about how the campaign was organized on a Reddit group, Loblaws is out of control, a group with 67,000 members, venting their frustrations with the rising cost of living and grocers widely, but Loblaws specifically. That's the one word that really gets me worried when it comes to this whole boycott, is that this is politically driven. We've seen it in many protests around the country from time to time where there's special interest groups, whether it's oil and gas, whether it's a country's faith, whether it's the lockdown measures, a number of different things. We've seen from time to time that paid actors are used to pump up these boycotts, these protests in methods of sinking one competitor while boosting another. And of course, as I said earlier, you'll have to go to another retailer to get your food, essentially giving them profits, which helps people like Jagmeet Singh's brother. So again, word of caution, I strongly put out there the very likely possibility that other interest groups are at play here when it comes to the boycott of Loblaws. I'm not suggesting that Loblaws isn't taking record profits, but simply stating that they're all one and the same when it comes to the demon that deals out the food. The biggest problem being the government and its carbon tax. It has nothing to do with retailers to a certain extent. Now, where I would say it has to do more with retailers is if Pierre Poilievre comes in as prime minister, gets rid of the carbon tax, and then we don't see food prices come down, then by all means, get your torches, your pitchforks, and it's time to go to the man, so to speak, and request a higher standard. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Keep your eyes out for more videos. Again, I'm going to have some great money-saving tips as well as opinions on the current state of things in this country coming up very shortly here on the channel. If it's your first time here, I hope this video has earned your subscription. Make sure to hit that button and turn on your bell for notifications so that you're alerted every single time Surviving Canada puts up a new video. I'm slowly trying to grow this channel and appreciate everyone who's come in here so far to check things out and all those who have given such great feedback. If you have any questions or comments of things you want me to cover on this channel in terms of affordability and how to live better, make sure to leave it in the comment section along with a thumbs up. It tells people out in the algorithm this is a channel we're supporting, and I look forward to seeing you guys in our next video. I hope you guys have a great day. I'll catch you on the next one.